Hello everyone, it's Jeremy Geckner here with the Front Row Movie Reviews, and this is your weekly roundup of the movie news here on Front Row News. This is for October 14th, 2017, and I'm about to break down all of the biggest stories from the past week in movie news, so let's get right back into it. Last week saw with a bevy of new trailers that hit the internet, including some of the biggest films of the year, those being Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and Justice League. And then also, just yesterday, we got our first look at the New Mutants movie as well, coming out from director Josh Boone. Now look, we've already had some trailer reactions to all three of these movies coming out here, but I gotta tell you, the Star Wars one absolutely blew my brain. Thought they might have given away just a little bit too much of the story there, but also the Justice League trailer. Look, I like the DC universe so far. It's not perfect, it's not the best, it's not what I would have done with it, but you know what, I think it's going fine, and this trailer does seem to paint a little bit more of a brighter picture for it. I can definitely start seeing Joss Whedon's influence on this film. And New Mutants, well, I'll save all those thoughts and reactions for the actual trailer reaction video, so click your way on over to that. Also this week we learned that in the midst of all the MCU filming of the Avengers Infinity War and the Avengers 4 Untitled movie, we just learned that there is going to be a very specialized arc for the Hulk through Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and whatever the Untitled Avengers 4th movie is. And I really think that this is a cool thing because, quite frankly, a lot of us have wanted to see more of the Hulk for a really, really long time. Mark Ruffalo has absolutely been killing it as Bruce Banner, and now the thought that we can get a little bit of a deeper impact here, a lot of people are wondering whether this means Marvel might try to reacquire the solo film rights from Universal to the Incredible Hulk, and I'm personally hoping that they can, because I would love to see some of those comic book stories that are really great, like World War Hulk or even a true adaptation of Planet Hulk. I think that would be really, really cool to see on the big screen. So who knows? Let's see what happens with Thor Ragnarok coming out in November. Also this week, a little bit of fun news for us 80s and early 90s kids. It turns out that there is a third Bill and Ted film being developed right now. Keanu Reeves himself confirmed this and said that it would be called Bill and Ted Face the Music. Now, I guess there is the outside possibility that he was just pulling everyone's chain, but apparently this is legit. There's no date, there's no director, there's nothing else left there, but apparently Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are set to come back for this, and quite frankly, who doesn't want to see another Bill and Ted? I want to see what happens when Bill and Ted get old. I wonder if the Wild Stallions are still rocking. Also, in the sequels from the 80s train getting going, it turns out that Beetlejuice 2 is in fact moving forward, and they have just hired a brand new writer to work on the script. Now this is pretty exciting because Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Tim Burton have all put this out there as a little bit of a feeler in the past, and now it looks like Beetlejuice 2 actually is happening. I don't know how I personally feel about that at this moment. Personally, I'm just kind of a little bit iffy on that because I love the first one so much. But hey, let's see what happens. And hey, since it is Halloween, it was also awesome to see that the Strangers sequel, the release date has been set for 2018, and we got our first image of it. It's a great little shot there of one of the characters, one of the lady characters from the first film, chasing after another woman character who's pressed up against a chain link fence. I mean, I'm just saying, The Strangers was one of my favorite horror films of all time. It still is. It still creeps me out just to be home alone at night because of that film. I can't wait for this sequel. Last bit of comic book news for the week. We learned that the long in development X-Men spinoff Gambit starring Channing Tatum has now finally secured another release date, this being Valentine's Day of 2019. Now look, this is not the first date that this has occupied. It's not the first director. It's not the first time that this movie has been bandied about, but it looks like with the rest of these mutant films starting to come together, it looks like the X-Men universe is going to plow ahead, and this one has Channing Tatum and it has had him from the start, so maybe, just maybe, there might be some light coming here for the Gambit project. In closing out the news this week, we learned this week that Disney is pulling the animated film Gigantic, an adaptation of the Jack and the Beanstalk story, from their release schedule altogether indefinitely. Now this is a bit of a shock because at this year's D23 they made a big presentation for this, even going so far as to play some of the music that the Academy Award winning team of Robert Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez wrote for the film. So there's not been a bunch of explanation for why they did this yet. I'm Jeremy Geckner. I got to get out of here. It was a little bit more. There's a big packed week of news here. But if you want to find out more from the Front Row Movie Reviews, go to thefrontrowmoviereviews.com. You can find our trailer reactions and, of course, all of our podcasts that we produce. So be sure to go there. And hey, let us know what you think of this video and the rest. Hop down in the comments section and let us know. I'm Jeremy Geckner for the Front Row Movie Reviews, and as always, we will see you in the front row.